A negative COVID test result or documentation of recovery from COVID-19 is no longer required before you board your flight to the US. So, hindi nyo na kailangang magpa-COVID testing bago kayo umalis. Wala na yon. But what about the travel health insurance? Do you really need that to go to the States? There's been some confusion about this travel health insurance, so I contacted the Philippine Bureau of Immigrations to get the answers straight from the horse's mouth. Effective June 12, 2022, today, as I'm recording this video, you can now board a flight going to the United States without getting a COVID test. You can find the rescission order in the comment section below. That's one less thing to worry about kasi nakakapag-alala din, di ba? Pag magte-test tayo one day before our flight, paano pag nag-positive tayo? So that's all our travel preparations go down the drain. And that's one less cost to worry about. So 600 pesos din an antigen test. At a minimum, you can save that 600 pesos or spend it somewhere else. So who can travel to the States? If you are in the Philippines and you are a U.S. citizen or a U.S. immigrant, you can travel vaccinated, or even if you're not vaccinated, pwede kayong umalis. Wala kayong restrictions about vaccination. Now, if you're not a U.S. citizen and you are not a U.S. immigrant, you can only travel to the States if you are fully vaccinated. Exempted, unvaccinated, non-U.S. citizens and non-U.S. immigrants are also allowed to travel to the U.S. But of course, there is a process on how to get this exemption. I have a link in the comments section below on how to get this waiver from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, but please note that these waivers are only for humanitarian and emergency reasons. So, if you're going to the States, what are the travel and medical documents that you need to present at the airport upon check-in? A recognized proof of vaccination. Bring your vaccination cards. Again, I have in the comments section below the list of acceptable proof of COVID-19 vaccinations. If you're unable to get vaccinated due to medical reasons, you need to show a documentation to prove that. Now, depending on where in the US you're going, if you're going to California, New York, New Jersey, Nevada, or wherever, please check if that state or county or city requires a health declaration form. That's your assignment, okay? Now, the following documents are required by the Philippine Bureau of Immigration. First, you need to complete and fill out the Philippine Bureau of Immigration declaration form acknowledging the risk of travel during this pandemic, including the risk of a delayed return flight. This form is downloadable, so you can fill it out in advance. If not, it is also available at the check-in counters. Now let's talk about travel health insurance. If you are a tourist visiting the States, you are required to present a travel health insurance to the immigration officer at your departure. This is a Philippine Bureau of Immigration requirement. It is not a U.S. requirement. In fact, Filipinos who are traveling abroad, not just to the U.S., on a tourist or temporary visitor's visa, are required to get a travel health insurance. There has been a lot of confusion about this, so I decided to email the Philippine Bureau of Immigrations, and this is what they said. A traveler intending to go abroad with a tourist or temporary visitor's visa shall be required to present the following at the airport: a Philippine passport valid for at least 6 months, a round-trip ticket returning to the Philippines, a valid visa if required. If you're not financially capable, you will need to present an authenticated affidavit of support and guarantee or invitation letter from a relative indicating your relationship within the 4th civil degree of affinity, together with supporting documents. When they use the word financially capable, hindi masyadong malinaw yon because they didn't really define the word financially capable. Are you financially capable if you have 50,000 pesos or 500,000 pesos in the bank? I don't know. If this is a question you are having, please contact the Philippine Bureau of Immigration by email and ask them to elaborate. Another thing you will need is an adequate travel health insurance to cover travel disruptions and hospitalization in case of COVID-19 infections during your allowable period of stay abroad. So here again, when they said adequate travel health insurance, they didn't define the word adequate. How much is adequate? I don't know, but I've been reading around and it looks like as long as your travel health insurance policy covers COVID-19, it will be valid and will be accepted by Philippine Bureau of Immigrations. I was looking around for the cost of a travel health insurance and it looks like it costs around 2,500 pesos for a 1-month stay abroad for a healthy individual. That insurance premium increases with a longer international travel period. If you know anything about insurance in general, insurance premium rates are directly proportional to the age of the person needing the insurance. The older you are, the more expensive it becomes. And pre-existing health conditions also factor in. So all that will affect your insurance rate. There are also some insurance companies who will not insure people beyond a certain age. So please keep that in mind. So having said all those requirements, this is the clincher. The Philippine Bureau of Immigration said that the assessment of the sufficiency of travel documents in relation to the purpose of travel is conducted at the airport upon primary inspection by the immigration officer. So, nakasalalay ang pag-alis nyo sa immigration officer na magre-review ng travel documents na prepare nyo. So, make sure that not only you have everything that you need, that they are sufficient. Kasi you may have a travel or health insurance, pero that's not sufficient enough for the immigration officer. Okay? So make sure that you are following these requirements to the letter. The final word they have in their email response to me is, the final determination whether or not a certain passenger is allowed to travel rests entirely upon the immigration officer who will be conducting the immigration inspection. Ang bigat, ano? So, nakasalalay sa Philippine Bureau of Immigration officer ang pag-alis nyo. So, make sure you do it well and you prepare well. Now, if you have any questions at all, and I'm sure you do, about all this, please contact the Philippine Bureau of Immigration at these email addresses. These are the email addresses I used to email them, and they responded to me in less than 12 hours, which is pretty good considering that we have a time difference because I live in California. Now, where to get travel and health insurance? Well, I'm not going to endorse any travel insurance company, but you can Google the words travel and health insurance for Filipino traveling abroad and you will get a lot of hits. So in summary, these are the requirements to travel to the U.S. Recognize proof of vaccination. Documentation if traveler is unable to get vaccinated due to medical reasons. A U.S. state, county, or city health declaration form if required. A Philippine Bureau of Immigration declaration form. Adequate travel and health insurance if you are a tourist. Philippine passport valid for at least 6 months. Round-trip ticket returning to the Philippines, a valid visa if required, and an authenticated affidavit of support and guarantee or invitation letter if not financially capable. It is still quite complicated to travel internationally nowadays, but I'm just so glad to see that COVID vaccinations have been really effective, that we are seeing travel restrictions get rescinded. The hope is we will soon go back to how it used to be when a passport and a visa are all we need to travel. And who knows, it might happen next week or it may happen next month. But until then, if you're not able to postpone your international travel, please follow these travel requirements, guidelines to the letter very carefully so that you will not waste your preparation efforts and the cost of your pre-departure flights. And I hope that I was able to help you in my own little way in preparing for your trips. If you found value in this video, please hit the like button and please share it with your family and friends who are planning to travel abroad. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you can watch my next video. Peace!